All right, so ChatGPT is actually retiring a large portion of their models. I'm going to be talking about that and what you should be doing different in this video, so stick with me. So ChatGPT model retirement, what's leaving February 13th, the time you're watching this video, it's going to be gone, right? And what to use creators plus workflow. We're going to be talking about specifically to bloggers and SEO, YouTube creators, emails and funnels, my audience on OneWire. So we're going to be talking about that. Let me go and show you what this actually looks like over here. So when you log into ChatGPT, you're going to hover over here. You're actually going to go over here to legacy models, and you're going to see down here, you can actually see leaving on February 13th. And this is O4 Mini, O3, GPT 4.1, and then 4.0, and then they're even getting rid of GPT-5 thinking model right there. So it leaves you with all these right there. They're even going to get rid of ChatGPT 5 Instant. So we have ChatGPT 5 and 5.1 and 5.2. These are all the older models, and when you're on the plus version, they even actually let you use those. I don't know if on the free version that you're even able to use these, but on the plus version, you get access to all their older models. They're retiring those. They're really moving into, just kind of the belief that their 5.2 and higher is just, that is the model that everyone should be using. Now, this apparently does not impact API at the moment. So if you're a developer and you're using APIs for those lower cost models, it's not going to retire on the API just yet. But let's go through this. What's changing on February 13th and what you need to know. Models being retired are the 4.0, the 4.1, 4.1 mini, OpenAI O4 mini, and ChatGPT 5 Instant Plus Thinking previously announced. Important scope note, this retirement applies to ChatGPT product UI. Like I said, OpenAI says no API changes at this time, but I would expect for that. Just at least table that and know that at some point you're probably going to have to change your API keys in your software, and they're going to be retiring these as we move forward into the future. If you rely on a specific model, then expect output differences for sure. Why creators and builders should care. This is a workflow change, not just a drop down change. What will feel different? Your best model for tone may disappear. Example, if you preferred GPT 4.0 style, a lot of people when the 5.0 versions came out, 5.1 and 5.2, still say that from a writing standpoint and blogging and so forth like that, that the ChatGPT 4 versions were still better at certain things. And so unfortunately, that's just going to go away. Unfortunately, we have to adapt and adopt ChatGPT 5.0 and higher moving forward. Saved prompts may need small tweaks to get the same voice and structure. So you have to go back and look at your prompts, your projects, your GPTs that you've created. Output variants can change your packaging, hooks, titles, subject lines, call to action tone. We know this, right? We know that changing just a model, you can get different variations and different results. So you're just going to have to be aware of this. Want to get the news out to you guys on some of these. Let me know what you guys think about this video. If you're liking some of the news updates, if you're not staying up to date on what's going on with ChatGPT, Gemini, and Claude, those are the three that I use the most and the ones that I probably will be making the most content on. So output variants can change your packaging, hooks, titles. Like I said, teams, everyone needs the same replacement baseline to avoid inconsistent drafts. So what to use now, right? The simple default 2-model workflow that covers most creators' tasks. So GPT 5.2 thinking, best for strategy, accuracy, comparisons, audits, multi-step planning. You can use this when you care more about correctness than speed. Great for content briefs, SEO plans, the funnel architecture, quality checks, right? And then you're going to want to use GPT 5.2 Instant. This is best for fast drafting, rewrites, variants, quick formatting. Use this when you need 10 options, hooks, titles, subject lines, and then also OpenAI is actively tuning style and quality in its recent updates. If you guys want all the latest, greatest updates, you want to know what tool stack is right for you, for your industry, I'm adding specific tool stacks and help you get clarity to your software systems and workflows in your business and how to cut out all the software noise. Every day there's hundreds or even thousands of softwares being launched, and we all feel it like, oh man, but that software might be better. I need to get that one as well. And I already have 5 softwares that help me with my social media, but then this one just came out. I need to get this one as well. Well, that's what I created this community for us to talk about what your real business needs are and how to create a software stack. Inside here in the classroom, I'm working on this right here. I just posted the 4th module. You can see over here, module 1, what an AI software stack really is. the three core anchors every stack needs. And then right over here, module 3 stack before tools, the costly mistake people make. And then module 4 I just posted today. Module 4 has simple rules for a beginner stack. So this is to build your first software stack. And once you understand this can help you gain more efficiency in your business and get more clarity, cut out the noise, not feel so bad that all this software is coming out and then you're not buying it. And meanwhile, everyone else is continuing to buy all the software that collects dust, end up not working anyways. And meanwhile, you're actually working on your business, creating content and moving forward. So that's what this community is. If that sounds like something that you need in your business, then I'd love to have you join. We come over here real quick and just let you know that we're currently at 237 members. And this is free access right now. Free access for 300 members. You're going to get access to all the courses that I'm adding and all the software stacks and so forth. I'm also going to add exclusive videos and tutorials and things like that to this. So you don't want to miss that. But once it hits 300, it's going to be a paid membership. So definitely, if you're seeing this video right now and it's under 300, go ahead and hit that join button. I'd love to have you as our next member. Okay. So back to the presentation real quick. So the model picker by task, you can see the task on the screen right here: strategy, planning, audits. You're going to want to use GPT 5.2 thinking, content briefs, and SEO outlines thinking. And I got all this information, by the way, from ChatGPT itself. Had a conversation with ChatGPT about the changes and so forth, and it actually mapped all this out. So this is information from the source itself, just so you guys know. And then for hooks, titles, subject lines, if you need 10 to 30 variants, you're going to use GPT 5.2 Instant. Rewrite for tone, warm, punchy, professional, use GPT 5.2 Instant with explicit style instructions. For quality checks, does this match the goal? You're going to use GPT 5.2 Thinking and Automation, code heavy tasks, codex models, optional lane. So if you're blogging and using ChatGPT mostly for blogging and SEO, and that's part of your workflow, use thinking for planning and quality, right? Topic selection, angle validation, SEO briefs, intent headings, FAQs, internal links, competitive comparison or differentiation. The final, does this meet the goal review? And then use Instant 5.2 Instant for drafts and variants. Write intros, section drafts fast, rewrite paragraphs for clarity, generate multiple title options, meta descriptions, and snippet variations. This is for YouTube content creators if you're using ChatGPT more and this would kind of fall more for what I use it for. Use thinking for structure and packaging, video strategy, who, why, what outcomes, strong outlines, segment pacing, packaging decisions, title, angle selection. So we're going to want to use the thinking model. I use thinking because I just think that it gives it more, it tells it to spend more time on research and thinking. And I just use thinking more personally. Tight, quality, pass, clarity, and claims check. But you can use Instant for just hooks and volume. When you're like, hey, give me 30 hooks for Instagram or something like that, it's going to work just fine. It's going to be very fast. Title and thumbnail text batches, descriptions and chapter titles, their chapter drafts, pinned comments, and call to action variations. And then email and funnels, you're going to want to use a thinking model for offer positioning and objective maps, segmentation, new versus warm-up versus buyers, sequence structures, welcome, nurtures, and pitch, and compliance, accuracy reviews, avoid risky claims. And then you want to use the Instant version 5.2 of Instant for copy variants, subject line batches, when you're in batches 10 to 50, short promo emails, rewrite passes. So generally, I mean, what you're seeing right here, like if you're going to ask me what I use, I would just use thinking almost 90% of the time, because it's just going to take that extra time to write better email subject lines, to write better YouTube titles, to write better blog titles, and so forth. So I really do recommend using thinking most of the time. If you're a content creator, it really doesn't matter what you're using it for. If you're creating content like that, just use thinking mode mostly. If you want a migration playbook right here, do this in order. Save your best prompts as templates, hooks, briefs, email, promos, rewrites. Retest on ChatGPT 5.2 Thinking and Instant. Identify what changed, the tones, structures, length. Add explicit style controls, warmth, brevity, formatting rules, reading level. Standardize a 2-model pipeline. Thinking equals plan and check. Instant equals draft variants. Run a quick A/B test on a real task, hook plus intro plus email, before you publish it. That's all I've got. So just wanted to prepare you guys for next time you log in to ChatGPT and you come up here, you're probably going to be missing a bunch of the legacy models right over here that you get access to. You're going to have to adapt as ChatGPT moves forward and all these models. At the end of the day, who are we kidding? Most of the time, what you're going to want to do is, adapt to their latest model. It might take a little bit of time. The scariest part for people is that when one finally is super solid and it's been around for 6 months and it sounds really, really good. It writes really good. It's good with all your prompts. And then they come out with the next version, right? And this is the next best thing, or this is the best thing in the world, right? You got to move to the next one. A lot of times what happened when ChatGPT 5 came out, everybody was talking about it, but then a lot of people noticed that like, this is actually not very good for like blog writing and for this and that, right? And so people wanted to stay on the GPT-4 models. And I don't fault you for that. But at some point, you'll have to, like GPT-5, 5.1 and 5.2 have been around quite a while now, actually, in AI and tech world, right? Like literally a month or two is a long time as fast. We're moving at such a fast pace. So eventually you've got to adopt that new way, update your prompts and so forth, get it right, because ChatGPT 6.0 is going to be coming out right around the corner, right? And we've got to gear up for that as well. So make sure to hit that like button, make sure to subscribe so you can get all these updates, and I'll see you in the next video.